Time to cap off the science fiction obscurathon with another movie from the director of Gandahar. Oh boy. Rene LaRue, correct me if I pronounced that wrong, was the director of 3 animated science fiction movies. Gandahar, which we already know about, Fantastic Planet, and today's film Time Masters, based on the novel The Orphan of Perdide. By the way, in case you're wondering why I'm not reviewing Fantastic Planet, too sober. And while we're at it, just in case you're wondering why I don't have the DVD to Time Masters, well, yeah, kinda rare. I should also mention this movie was designed by comic artist Jean Giraud, aka Mobius, who was the conceptual artist for a lot of famous science fiction and fantasy movies. So this movie has some potential. As long as I don't have to censor anything, I think we'll be okay. So, here's Time Masters. The movie opens on a distant planet called Perdide, where we see a grasshopper-shaped land vehicle driven by a man with his son. Suddenly they crash. Off camera. With no noises. Off to a good start already, I see.
Jaffa, I've crashed. I'm trapped. I'm sending Peel into the Dolocks with a microphone. For God's sake, come get him. Hurry.
Doesn't seem to be bothered by those severe injuries, does he? I'm badly injured. Ow. Unfortunately, he doesn't survive, but he sends his son named Peel off into the wilderness to hide until someone can rescue him. He gives him a 2-way microphone, which he names Mike, so his rescuers can stay in contact with him. On the other end of Mike is a ship's captain named Jaffer, a girl named Belle, who is the girl, and some prince guy whom I shall refer to as David Bowie. I wonder how many David Bowie references I could put into this video. Let's find out. Apparently, David Bowie has been exiled from his home along with some of his treasure, and no, they don't really explain anything about this. Which, as you'll see, is one of the problems with this movie. You might say this movie is lacking in sound and vision. Seriously though, one of the things you'll notice about this film is that stuff happens that they never explain, nor do they follow up on, as if we're supposed to have knowledge about this universe already. I mean, take the very plot of this movie, for instance. It's about a group of people we don't really know anything about, going to rescue a kid we also don't really know anything about. So they stay in contact with Peel through the microphone to keep him company while they make their way to his planet. But it seems David Bowie is upset about their little detour.
Just 1 second. Are you saying that we are no longer going to Aldebaran?
That's exactly what I'm saying. I've changed our destination. It's no longer Aldebaran, it's Perdide. Consider yourself lucky, Prince, to be going anywhere at all. And that I've taken pity on you.
Looks like someone will be looking back in anger. But first they need to make a stop on another weird planet.
We all live in a yellow submarine, yellow submarine, yellow submarine.
They meet an old friend of Jaffer named Sbad, who has experience with the planet Peel is stranded on and might be able to help them. Later on that night, Sbad decides to sing Peel a song.
I can see a million eyes smile at me as I go by. I'm another Peter Pan, I'm another Superman, rolling along the stars with nothing much to do. I'm another Robin Hood, cruising the neighborhood, but I couldn't hurt nobody if I wanted to.
We've heard worse on this show.
I'm another Peter Pan, I'm another Superman.
You see those soft, round spots on it? Yes. Burst them open with your finger, and something will flow out that's much better than water.
That's good.
First you sing him drinking songs, and now it sounds as if you're trying to get him drunk.
Circumstances, my friend, we can't be choosy. The juice of the Ligol contains a harmless alkaloid, but it'll help him sleep. And the more the boy sleeps, the better. It'll keep him out of trouble.
Or get him started early, you damn idiot! Well, survival and all that. The next day, Jaffer and Belle go for a swim and have awkward underwater sex. I don't know.
I really like your friend.
I'm glad. He's quite a character, isn't he?
He certainly is. Still,
Yes?
What? I can't hear you. Your audio is all messed up.
You're going to witness something very rare.
Ah, God, they're everywhere. Someone get the spray. These adorable and strange little guys are psychic beings that can read people's minds.
close your mind. Careful.
Leave us in peace. Go on, be off with you.
Close your mind, human. I hear everything.
I can read your mind, human. You're gonna put a commercial here, aren't you? You're a horrible person. Did you know that?
Anyway, it's about time we head off, but it seems there are a few stowaways on the ship.
Something smells here.
Mind your language in front of a lady.
Oh dear, perhaps it's my perfume.
No, madam, not at all. Your perfume is exquisite. You must excuse my chum. He says anything that pops into his head.
A bad telepathic odor?
That's it. There's a fort here that stinks.
Yeah, by the way, their psychic powers work because they can smell people's thoughts. I'm not even going to begin to comprehend how that works. While we're at it, I don't think they even mention what these little guys are called. I even looked it up. People seem to call them different things like gnomes, homunculi, shrews. I'm going to call them nerfles. They kind of look like nerfles without a face. I gotta say though, they're probably my favorite characters. Most of the time we see them, they're trying to understand human behavior and things like the concept of value. I kinda wish the movie was about them.
You know how it is, space mate. Human beings, or at least some of them, don't care about the beauty of things. It's only their value.
What is value?
A concept. I read it in their thoughts.
What's the concept?
To tell the truth, I don't know for sure.
Meanwhile, it seems David Bowie is still upset and tries to trick Peel into drowning in a lake. Well, I guess he finally cracked under pressure.
No, Peel! Stop!
Belle,
Don't move.
you wouldn't dare.
What happened there? Did Filmation take over the animation? That was the most nonchalant gunfiring I've ever seen in my life.
I'm going to shoot you now. There, I shot you.
Belle, listen, I can explain.
Jaffa, please come here immediately.
Right. I'm coming.
Uh-oh. Sounds like he's a dead man walking.
Let me out! I'll tell you. I swear I'll tell you.
You will do as I command. I am sovereign.
And if you get that reference, you get a gold star. Bowie takes his protein pill, puts his helmet on, and escapes. Jaffer goes after him, but he gets captured by these guys. Hey, that's the guy from the cover art. So they must be the Time Masters, right? No. Okay, so here's the deal with these guys. There's some kind of mutated cult that are being controlled by a sentient being in a jar who wants to do away with differences and turn everyone into faceless, white, nude angels. These guys should get together with the Metal Men from Gondahar and cause the universe's most boring apocalypse. The Nerfles show up and tell Jaffer that the being is weak against hateful thoughts. As they're brought before it, David Bowie decides to sacrifice himself to try and destroy it. He can do it too. He defeated the spiders from Mars.
Mons! Annihilation! Difference is opposing unity! One individual is hurling himself into totality!
You got him, David Bowie! Think of anger! Think of scary monsters and super creeps! After jumping into the evil lava lamp, all the angels revert back to their original forms and everyone escapes. Meanwhile, on Perdide...
That's a tweeter. They eat things that are up high. kind of wine, aren't you? Have you lost your pals? Let's go and look for them together.
So that happened. Back on the ship, it turns out the survivors are space pirates, and their thoughts are bothering the Nerfles.
Did you see how much that Centaurian packed away last night?
I can understand, but...
I beg your pardon?
Excuse me. I'm tuned into... hiccups. That big man with the moustache who drank 3 quarts of moonshine last night.
Wow, drunk via telepathy. I believe that's a new one. Then a ship from something called the Interplanetary Reform shows up. They take the space pirates who came up with a plan to take over their ship, and apparently this is a good thing because we don't like the Interplanetary Reform. Also, they're blind, apparently.
Everything's going fine, Jafar. They don't see the trap.
They don't see anything.
They're all blind.
Okay, this has nothing to do with the plot. They take away the space pirates who inevitably take over their ship, and that's it. So I've concluded this whole sidetrack was just to kill off David Bowie. I just don't get this. Alright, let's get back on track. Peel and that Dr. Seuss monster think they found a shelter, but it seems to already be inhabited by a Japanese porno. Oh no, it got the green birdo centaur dog thing. It also gets the microphone, so the ship loses contact with Peel, and now they have to hurry to get him. However, as they approach the planet, they run into some interference that causes them all to pass out. They get picked up by a medical station and learn that Sbad is not going to make it. Then they find out that the entire planet was sent back in time as part of some colonization project by the Time Masters. Yes, now they get mentioned. They go to see Sbad, who's slowly passing away, and the Nerfles reveal some of his old memories. And it turns out that Sbad is actually Peel. What? Yeah, seriously, that's our conclusion, apparently. What a twist! The planet gets sent back 60 years to the time when Sbad would be a child, then he gets rescued by some random space guy. Oh, and he doesn't remember any of this because of a brain injury he sustained by some wild insects. Then Sbad finally passes and they bury him in space.
Look up there. A master of time.
Yep, there he is. Would have been nice to see him on the cover art. Or maybe explain that colonization thing that doesn't seem to make any sense. Or just generally have a bigger role in this movie that he's named after. Oh, this movie. Okay, I'll start by saying I was actually liking it. It had some good designs, a great sci-fi atmosphere, good likable characters, and an air of mystery about it that keeps you interested. However, there's some audio issues, and so much of what seems to be important backstory that's never explained or followed up on. I have a feeling the book explains things better. Maybe I just need to read more. Either that or something was lost in translation, as is what I'm told happened with Gandahar. And of course, there's that ending. I can't tell if this twist is really good or really bad. On one hand, it's pretty clever and unique, but on the other hand, it makes it feel like nothing was accomplished in this movie. Gandahar may have been confusing as all hell, but at least it felt like something happened. I hear the creators of this movie weren't really happy with how it turned out, and I can see why. However, I think it has just enough merit to say it might be worth a watch. If you can afford it. Well, with that, the Obscurathon comes to an end, and I think we found at least one thing worth watching. But we'll be back next year with some more Forgotten Gems. Until then, back to reviewing stuff that's more well-known. But not too well-known.
Ziggy played guitar, jamming good with Weird and Gilly.